We have another whistle-stop tour kind of day today where we are going to be running around Bristol doing all manner of things that probably aren't productive. So I might turn today into a bit of a write-off in the sense that I'm going to try not to fret much about not getting much work done today. It's going to be, because otherwise I'll look at the amount of timed hours I've done and get annoyed at myself for it being too low. But a lot of the things I've got on my to-do list today are things that aren't timing friendly, let's say. So I am about to head on out to go into town because I'm going to go to a co-working thing. The co-working thing is at a co-working place. So the one I went to last time, it's the same group of people, but the one I went to last time was in like a bar, and I didn't enjoy that as much because it felt like there was an expectation that I'd buy things from the bar, because obviously the bar is letting the group come with a discount as well. They get like a certain amount of discount on the expectation that you buy things. And I'm not the kind of person who will just sit and, like, I have tea at two very specific times during the day. I don't see the point in going out and buying tea because it's just fucking hot water in a tea bag. It shouldn't cost £2. I'm not the kind of person who like drinks a lot of coffee or hot chocolates, and I try my best not to get addicted to that kind of stuff. Also, I'm keeping my outgoings to an absolute bare minimum. I checked my bank account today for because I've got two payments, one going in and one going out, and I'm not sure which account it's coming in and out of. Because it's something we bought Laura. Laura bought a puzzle using my Amazon account, and I can't figure out which card we used, but we got a refund because it was missing a piece. So the refund's coming back in. I don't know which account that's going in. Also, TV license is being renewed, and I don't know which account I used to pay for it. So because if it didn't come out of the joint account, then we need to figure out how much money we need to split and all that kind of stuff. Basically, if I paid it, I need to take it out of the joint account. If Laura paid it, she needs to take it out of the joint account. Where's? Oh yeah. So it's really funny actually looking at how little outgoings I have now. Like the last month has basically just been like 3 bills on my accounts, which is great. I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, so I'm going down into town to do this co-working thing. I've got stuff to do there, so I've got like some emails. I don't want to send emails because I have this thing about sending emails at a certain time because I feel like that's more likely to be read. I don't know how, I've got no science to base that off of, but I feel like if you get an email in the afternoon, you're more likely to read it than in the morning. I've got that to do, I've got some planning to do, I've got my blog to write, so I've got like some things to play with. I've also got some application things to work with as well, or application thing to work on. So there are lots of things I'm going to be doing, and they're the kind of things that feel more productive when I'm out the house anyway. So looking forward to going to the co-working thing. After that, I'm going to go get my hair cut. I've gelled my hair because I can't, in good faith, go to the hairdressers. Go to co-working looking like a failed member of the Beatles. So gel my hair. And I'm going on my longboard as well into town. So it's going to be windswept anyway by the time I get down there. It's also the reason why I'm wearing the same polo shirt I wore yesterday. Today is actually a day where I should get a fresh polo shirt out, but I can't also go to the hairdressers and get covered in hairs and a fresh polo shirt. So I have to wear this one. After that, I just got a message from my tester friend, Gary, who has asked if I'm up for a cuppa anytime. And I'm like, I could do today, dog. So it's co-working for about 2.5 hours. Come back, go get my haircut, go and have a drink with Gary, head back home. I need to service the car. There's something else I need to do as well. I've forgotten about. There was something else. Oh yeah. Wrap some presents, which I'm going to do today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and fill in a load of the odd jobs that I need to do today. I was splitting them out over today and tomorrow, but by the time I get back home and all that kind of stuff, I've basically lost huge chunks of the day where I can sit down and do big chunks of work. So I'm going to try my best to differentiate that around. So it's gonna be good. We've got a good fun couple of days ahead of us. Like I say, it's been a really busy week. I've really enjoyed this week. I'm not really sure like why, but I am now at that stage where I'm leaving here in about 20 minutes. And I've gone through my to-do list and picked out all the things that are like quick things and just like locked them off. But the rest of this stuff I'm stuck on. I'm trying to figure out what I can call these things. So on my platform, basically, I'm going to say it out loud. On my platform, you link to a code repository. So your code repository is say it's just a Git repo in GitHub, right? That is called a repository in the repository service, but when it gets through to this service, I'm calling it a test subject. So it's because there's more than just a repository there at that point, but it's kind of like the thing that's being tested on its own. When you create a pull request or other versions of this, so there's also in scope at some point just in general builds, like just individual commits could be at this point. That is going to be something, right? So that's kind of the overarching test subject. If you're doing like a test on people is the big test subject, the big one, right? The pull request is kind of like a subset that you want to test. It's like this is the scope of the test, everything that happens within this pull request. And then obviously as you make commits to the pull request, you get different versions of that pull request. So what's the name for that? Because I feel like specimen, I feel like there's a scientific name in a scientific experiment for like option A, option B, option C. I feel like your pull request is like option A, is like specimen A, and then you have different versions of that as it goes through. So previously, in the other microservice, I've used repositories and then just pull requests. I think I've even just saved pull requests separately. I originally called pull requests snapshots, but then I decided that each individual commit effectively is a snapshot. Every update to the pull request is a snapshot of that pull request, which made more sense to me. And I could use snapshots for the thing that isn't the pull request. But this microservice doesn't make sense to call it a pull request. It doesn't make sense for that at this point. Maybe I should just be using test subject. But it's not. The test subject is the repository, not the pull request. This is what I've been struggling with. I've tried to... I asked Simon Clark, if any of you haven't heard of him, did a live stream with him a long time ago, and every now and again we talk to each other on Twitter, and he'll ask me questions about if he's doing a video on computers. Every now and again he asks me questions to make sure he's right on stuff. And I thought, but I swear there's a fucking name for it. But how do you Google that, you know? I might ask people today, see if they can help me figure out a name. Because it's almost stopping me do the next bit, because I'm about to tell this microservice when a pull request's created, and then when each individual snapshot is uploaded, it then does something, you know? In general, there are two prevailing... I've had a lot of daily vlogs that have been actual day vlogs recently. I've had busy days though, and lots to talk about. There are basically two schools of thought when it comes to this kind of thing in programming. You either get the people who, someone I used to work with was like this, who's just names don't matter, you can always rename it later if it doesn't make sense. Which is yeah, but renaming something after the fact, I think, is always way harder than you expect it to be. There's always places where it will slip through, and then you have to actually kind of schedule that work, if that makes sense. So it doesn't come, you don't just rename it for free later, because it will block up an entire pull request as you change millions of files and the name. In theory it's easy, but there's always nuances with that. And then there's the other side where people are names are really important, and names have connotations, and when you hear a word you have natural assumptions with that, so you can't pick words that make you think it's something else, which is why factories and builders are two very different things, because a factory has a different connotation to a builder, shit like that. I'm more on the side of words matter, but this is important to me because it's my data model. And by getting the right name for it, you kind of figure out how to frame how you think about it. So if I was to pick a different name, naturally your brain a name that didn't really fit, your brain will start to kind of pick out, it will start to like naturally think about solving the problem to fit the name rather than the problem, you know? I don't think that makes sense. But but if you think about it with the wrong name, then you're thinking about solving the wrong problem, in my opinion. Because if you pick a name that's just like disastrous, unless you pick a name like Bob, then fair play. But if you pick a name like, hypothetically, experiment versus test, you may think about it differently. And you may solve the problem differently. Then you pick other names because they go well with experiment rather than other things. And it has a huge effect. So I feel like getting those things, to a certain extent, names don't matter. Like names of variables don't matter. But names of data models do, in my opinion. So, also something that happened to me. I've not seen any consequence of this yet. But I got an email. So I publish my blog posts between my actual website, varioalice.com/blog, and Medium. So Medium is made by the person, or one of the people who made Twitter. It's a really nice, like, blogging thing. It's a bit like Tumblr, I guess, but only blogs and writing and stuff. I really like it. And the blog I last wrote has been selected by creators to be something that's, because of how, I think it's like how well it's written and something, to be published in certain circles and like pushed. And then they're going to put it because they have this like kind of like paywall kind of thing where you have to sign up for it. You get a certain number of free ones with a free account, and then you get these ones that go through the paywall. So that's kind of cool. I'm happy with that. So is it obvious I'm kind of just like floating around the house, trying to figure out, why is that notification? I'm trying to figure out what to do with myself for the next 10 minutes because I just don't know. Interesting. This day, 7 years ago, fuck off. 7 years ago was the space mission. Are you kidding me? If it wasn't the space mission, it was the day I uploaded the photos to Google Photos. You kidding me? 7 fucking years. That's how long I've been doing these videos for. Well, 8 years then. No way. 2012, man. I was a year in at that point as well. Damn. Yeah, 19th. Holy shit. It says 6 years ago there, but I guess it was 7 years. As of the day it was uploaded, it'll be tomorrow, so it'll be 7 years tomorrow. Fuck me, man, that is insane. Been on these videos for 8 years. God damn. You know what? That has blown my little noggin. I cannot believe that. 7 years. Time bloody flies, doesn't it? Right, let's shut you down. Let's get my bag ready. Let's roll out. This is the first time I've taken my oh, god damn it. I dropped this the other day. I say that a while ago. I literally, right outside the house, I dropped it. And it's like split along this bit of plastic there. And then this button comes out because of it. So I had to sellotape it together. But this tape we use isn't very good. Literally, it's been on here. And it is just peeled off. It's just like, where gravity itself has just made it go. I think we're going to need to get some better duct tape. That duct tape is trash. Right, you're going to be alright, aren't you, for this journey? Yeah, you are. When I'm holding it, I'm like literally gripping it in place. So all I need to do, even if the button does, and it's usable even if the button does come out. If the button does come out, I've just got to make sure I catch it, you know. Annoyed is an odd choice of words, but I'm kind of disappointed / annoyed that I don't get to use this more anymore. I have just no reason to use such a small. I really wanted it and really like it, but I got it at a time where it made a bit more sense and I could use it more. But now I like work from home, and if I ever have to go anywhere, I'm either going for a walk, so I'm deliberately walking and not skateboarding, or I'm going to town where I obviously need the range of a longboard. Yeah, I just don't really have much use for it anymore. Which is sad, isn't it? Right, stop jibber jabbering. I'm only going for the morning, so I'm not taking any form of charger with me, except my phone charger, which is just like a little battery pack thing. And this is the first run I've done into town and back on the longboard with these tyres on. And I'm pretty confident it will do it. I'm going to do an eco run down, because I know on the way back it's more uphill, so I'm going to be more like... The problem with these tyres is that eco feels slow, especially if you're going uphill. Like, it requires momentum to gain speed, to keep going quickly. Let's put those batteries on charge. I'm going to need them at some point. Yeah, acceleration is... The top speed is just significantly slower to what I'm used to. So on the way back, when I'm going uphill, slightly uphill, I have to be a bit more, less frugal with the power, let's say. I was kind of shocked at how busy it was on this path, but then I realised it's like 9:15. Of course it is, everyone's going to work. It's just, I'm so out of the loop of what is normal for work people, you know? Because I commute to work an hour before everyone else here, you know what I'm saying? Proper. I have to keep checking behind me with my neck that's a bit rigid before I overtake people, which is quite annoying. So yeah, I'm just cruising. I get to like 60 miles an hour when I'm at top speed, but it does take a long time to get there, you know. Top speed on flat, that is, as well, not downhill. You can get to about max, which is about 20. But the other wheels roll, well, not roll, but on eco, 20 mile an hour is like cruising, you know, cruising. Whereas on this is like max speed. And we are heading back home, ladies and gentlemen. We've got absolute shitload of battery, so I'm not worried. Had my haircut, all good. I got a message, I said, didn't I, this morning? Got a message from Gary to see if I wanted to just have a cuppa over lunch. And I did. It was good fun. So I've had quite a good day today. It's not been, like I say, it's not been productive per se, per like hour workage movement kind of thing. But it's been good fun. So I feel like I'm starting to make friends with these like co-worky people. We go to the co-working thing I go to. They're all like really chilled out, and yeah. So yeah, I got talking to some people around me. There's like a web developer goes, 2 translators, and then to a designer and a marketing person, and they're really nice. So it was really nice getting out and just like being around people. I didn't, like I say, I did a lot of like odd bits of work, but nothing overly like productive, if that makes sense. I knocked off a lot of all the small things that aren't really productive but need doing, you know what I'm saying? And then I went to go get my hair cut. Oh my god, that's a big old lorry. Yeah, went to go get my hair cut, and then like I say, met up with Gary, had a good old chinwag. Haven't had any lunch yet though, so I'm starving. And it's quite a long meeting. So it's now 1:30. By the time I get back, it's going to be like basically 2. We're going to have some lunch. See, not much time to fit stuff in today, so we'll have to try our best, do some other stuff later. Why has it got a spanner on the screen? I don't know why that screen turned to a spanner. If I dob it, I don't know. But yeah, so we are just going to cruise back, mostly in eco. I'm not in any rush, and then when I get back, I'm going to do all of the jobs to free up tomorrow, so I can have a productive day tomorrow. Just got all the way back and then realised that we don't have enough bread for my sandwiches, so going to the shop. I think I was quite right about today being a bit of a write-off. It's gone 5:30, sorted out the car, had my lunch, sorted out wrapping stuff. That's all wrapped and hidden and all sorted. And now I'm just waiting for Laura to tell me she's on her way back. Very much unproductive. Today is the most unproductive day I've had in a long ass time, but I did kind of expect it, so that's cool. That's cool. I go upstairs to my office. Laura's got uni work to do tonight, so I can do that too. Well, not her uni work, but I can do work tonight as well. So we can reclaim some of this. Yeah. One of the harder, more annoying parts is reorganising all the things I was gonna do today somewhere else. That's the hardest part. In terms of productivity, ladies and gentlemen, today was nothing to be proud of. I mean, I got a lot of non-stuff. Yeah, I got basically all the things done that I needed to get done that I normally do at the weekend, but I don't have the weekend. So it's just nothing to be proud of, you know. It's quite disappointing, to be honest. And like I say, because I don't have the weekend, it's kind of a catch-22. I've got all the things I need to do in a week, but I don't have the weekend, so I can't do the things I was going to do today at the weekend, because the things I was going to do at the weekend I can't do at the weekend either, so I've got to do them today. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm really struggling with like a sweet tooth that I have after dinner now. I'm trying to stop myself from snacking unnecessarily. Cool. Right, tomorrow is going to be productive AF. Ladies and gentlemen, AF. I'll catch you later.